Okay guys, part 2 of the hose trouble I had here. What I ended up doing was it was so hard getting that hose on underneath because the treads were just a little bit buggered up. Not much, but you couldn't see anything, but apparently they were buggered up just enough. And it's a 5/8 by 20 pitch, 20 treads per inch tread on those fittings. And of course nobody in my community, my town, had anything for a tread chaser to be able to fix it. And apparently that fitting can come off. That's just a jam nut above it, but I couldn't get a wrench up in there or anything. I tried buying some crow's feet, even they couldn't get up there to be able to get that thing off. So I followed some YouTube advice. I took the old hose that I had and I took the end of it and I put it in the vise and I cut the threaded portion off. And after I cut the threaded portion off, I took my mini grinder and took a little slice of it out, to give it a little sharp edge. And I was able to tread this part on back over the original treads on the fitting. And it was just enough. I mean, I put it on, took it off, put it on, took it off a couple times. And it was, you know, I wasn't able to move it with fingers, but easily with the wrench. And once I got those treads cleaned up enough like that, I put the hose on and the hose fitted on fine. So I got that on tightened up. Of course, 1/8 of a turn at a time. It took me about still 25 minutes to get the hose completely under. So I got to bring back in place, and I'm filling her up with oil. And just to show you another bright move by these guys, these designers, so-called designers. I mean, I don't want to knock the machine too much. I mean, I've had great use with the machine, but these little things like this is what really gets to me, you know. So especially when you can't use like standard tools that everyone else uses, you know. They gotta design their own sort of thing, proprietary. Anyway, I'm filling the putting the hydraulic fluid back in her. Now just look at this. You got to come back in here. Now of course it'd be easier with the backhoe attachment off, but there's no fluid in her, so I can't get it off. So I mean, you know, just I've shown this before on another video, but in here, in there, and I think the camera can pick it up, that's where you got to put the oil in. I mean, really? I mean, you know, come on. And if you want to check it, here's the beauty. The dipstick, and you can't even see it. The camera won't even pick it out here. It's a little tiny thing, and it's right down inside there. And of course, the geniuses decided, I don't know if I can pick it up here on the camera. I don't think I can. It's down in there somewhere. Hang on, put my finger out of the way. It's down in there, a little dipstick. And in order for it to get it up, it starts up through the rail down here, and then they drill a hole in this rail right here. You got to try to poke it up through there. Oh, just to check it. What a pain in the arse. Anyway, I'm going to finish this up. I mean, you know, really? I mean, they couldn't design anything better than that? You know, trying to get that in there, I had to buy that funnel there and put a garden hose on it to be able to get in there properly. So, I know you can get the metal ones with that bend and everything, but that's all I had. Anything in a pinch. But think about it, I mean, come on. These guys and their northern counterparts, their northern cousins, they want to handle nuclear weapons? Really? Anyway, my grapes. Thanks. Alright, I'm going to finish putting the hydraulic fluid, hydrostatic fluid back in the tractor here, after I had to repair a hose that busted while I had the backhoe on. So it's very hard to fill it up while the backhoe was on there. It's going to be a bit easier now with the backhoe off. But of course, while there's no fluid in there, I couldn't take the backhoe off. So I got it off now. I figured I'd take the opportunity just to show you, if you have one of these tractors and you haven't taken off your backhoe before, or you're trying to put it back on, I've shown another video about this before, but I already had the backhoe attached. So here it is detached, just so I can show you where everything is on the tractors. I got a lot of sunlight here with me, so this is the points at which the backhoe attaches. The lower hooks in the lower ones, of course, and the upper ones go up here. And here's your hydraulic fittings, one here, and one, you can just see it there now, right up in there. But you got to try to reach through underneath the tire there, of course. Lots of fun. Now, this red cap, that's where you put your hydrostatic fluid in. So, of course, with the backhoe off, it's much easier to get at, you know. And this little hole right here, below that is where your dipstick is. Now, let me show you. I'm trying to do this with my phone and, of course, not get full of hydraulic fluid in the meantime. So, there's the dipstick down in there. I'm kind of hoping you can see it and the phone will pick it up. But you have to reach your hand down in here, like this. You can see my hand can just barely reach. Grab it between your fingers and see the cap of it just coming up through there now. You poke it up, and usually what I do is I'll just let it hook on there. And then I got to reach it with my fingers here. And then you got to try to read this thing. And as you can see, it's a silver. And the hydrostatic fluid is just about clear. So it's almost like trying to find water on this silver thing. Those little strokes on there, they didn't originally be on that. I cut those into it just to try to give it something for the hydraulic fluid to catch on with. The other trick I've done in the past is I put some painter's tape around it just for checking it, hoping they don't fall off, but they usually don't. I put down good and tight, and you know, anything to rough up that surface so it can hold the hydraulic fluid until you can get up and get a look at where it is. So I'm going to finish filling this thing up here now in a second. And of course, then you got to try to get this back down in through there. Let it drop down into the hole properly. Hope it don't. Every now and then it misses and it goes right to the ground, of course. Then you got to clean it up. I mean, these are the geniuses that come up with this kind of stuff, right? Man. Anyway, let's go over and take a look at the backhoe attachment. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to back up your tractor and line up those hooks as best you can. And when you get within about a foot, you know, within a foot or so, then you're going to hook up your hoses, because that re-energizes all your hydraulics on your backhoe, and then you can start lifting it and maneuvering it using the bucket and the stabilizers to line it up for the hook in there. Okay, when you go to put on your backhoe, what you're going to do is you're going to back up and line yourself up with your hooks, and you're going to back up until your bottom one, so you're close about right here. Hook up your hoses, and that allows you to re-energize your cylinders, and you can maneuver your backhoe attachment while still on the ground. So you're going to continue backing up until your hooks, your bottom ones, come right over the bottom ones there, and you lift her straight up using your stabilizers and your bucket. If you're familiar enough with how you use your backhoe, you should be able to do that. And then once that's up in place, you're going to use your bucket to tilt her forward until she comes in over this top hook. And then you put this down here, put your pins back in true, and lock them on, and away you go. So that just sort of shows you how to do that. And you know, you got to get it's pretty tedious. I tell you what, it's going to take a lot of practice, but once you get it, it comes off and on pretty good. I mean, I took this off here a few minutes ago. It took me less than 5 minutes. Actually, about 2 or 3 minutes. So it's not bad once you get used to it. All right,